And it's a pleasure for me to welcome you today to our Choose France to Grow Your Business in Europe, focused on Normandy, in partnership with Business France agency ADNormandie and territories. Sorry, I cannot pronounce that correctly in French. But it's great for us to be partnering with, on this occasion, with Business France, as France is one of our top exporting markets and trading markets. So it's great to have the opportunity to showcase some of the investment opportunities that the region has to offer. So today, before we officially kick off, I just wanted to let you know, the session is being recorded. The slides will be shared after the event, alongside with the link to the webinar, so you can also watch on demand. So without further ado, I just want to kind of walk you through what today is going to be all about. So we have a tight agenda with lots of interesting presentations offering you great insights. I'm going to tell you a bit about the chamber for those who might not be aware of who we are. Then I will hand it over to Business France and ADNormandie so they can introduce what they do. We'll have a panel discussion, which will include a wide range of organizations that will tell you about the benefits and opportunities about investing in France. Then we'll have a Q&A session that will extend to the delegates. And then for those who book a one-to-one meeting, then we'll break out into rooms for that. So if you happen to have a question about what is being discussed, we kindly ask you to hold on until we have the open Q&A later on. So just to continue, just about the about Greater Manchester Chamber of Commerce, we are the largest accredited Chamber of Commerce in the UK, with over 4,200 members. We cover 10 local authority areas within the Northwest region. However, we do have members across the UK and worldwide. We also have about 800 companies as part of our GM business community, something that we launched back in 2020 as part of our support through the COVID situation. Our top 3 sectors are within the manufacturing and engineering, property and construction, and business and legal financial services. Having said that, one of our growing sectors is within the digital, tech, creative, and technology areas. We host about over 200 events annually that gather over 15,000 delegates. We are an award-winning chamber, and we have a global business network that expands to more than 600 connections of 40 partners that allow us to cover about 90 markets. This is just a few of the accolades that we have received in the last few years. And in terms of the international trade support that we offer, we work with both UK and overseas companies that are keen to increase their international footprint, whether that's through exporting, importer, or investing. So we offer a wide range of market awareness events like this one that you are here today. Market entry services, which include finding partners overseas. We also offer training courses covering different areas of the export and import practicalities, including customs. We offer bespoke advice and custom compliance services, so from audits, from VAT advice, export controls, and so forth. We also offer a wide range of funding and getting paid services, so that's from letters of credit to foreign exchange services and the recovery, just to mention but a few. We are also the largest provider of certification services in the north of England. That's helping you with your certificates of origin, EUR1s, ATA carnets, and so forth. We are also a customs clearance agent, so we are able to help UK companies established here in the UK with their export and import customs entries. So I think that's pretty much in a nutshell. And I just wanted to quickly say that between, as of 2020, Greater Manchester region traded about 1.6 billion worth of goods and services with France. So it's one of our top 5 markets in terms of trading. There are over 1,200 companies actively trading with France. And despite the impact of COVID between 2019 and 2020, actually our exports grew to the region. So again, this is a great opportunity for me to kind of now welcome Business France to continue the presentation. I'm going to stop sharing my slides so you can continue with yours. So thank you so much. And yeah, all to you.
Thank you, Susanna. I'm going to share my screen now. So good morning, everyone. We are very pleased to welcome you and to discuss logistics solutions today in France and Normandy. There we go. Perfect. And we trust you will learn about business opportunities in France and Normandy and connect with our key speaker today. My name is Mélisande Roche. I am leading the team of inward investment in the UK and Ireland and at Business France, which is the official organization for international development of the French economy. I will give you a little bit of introduction and context, to this event today. It's always good to know your neighbors. France and the UK have an obvious common history of which trade has played a key role. The figures speak for themselves, actually. Globally, the UK is the third largest investor in France after Germany and the US. And in return, as Susanna mentioned, France is a great supporter of British business as its fifth largest trade partner. What about Greater Manchester? France is the fourth and fifth largest trade partner with the region in terms of goods and services. The number of UK investment in France was 151 in 2021, which was a rise of 25%, and confirming France as the first European destination for British businesses. And that represents 1 out of 1 in 10 jobs created or maintained by foreign investors in France were actually thanks to UK investment. That's quite important to notice. Overall, it's 2,000 UK business in France, representing 164,000 people. And some of them are actually from Greater Manchester. You may know them. It's just a few examples. Bodycote in the heat treatment and thermal processing services. They have a large presence in France with 27 sites. Mike Bride, the cleaning products leader, producer, and also distributor, has been in France for quite a number of years now with 3 manufacturing sites, one of them in Normandy, actually. But also in the food industry with GA Pet Food, Tetrasil in the car industry, and Radius Payment Solution has been in France for 10 years now. So I will now hand it over to my colleague Guillaume from ADNormandie, so he can share with you the regional picture of the connection between the UK and France. Guillaume, up to you.
Yes, thank you very much, Mélisande. So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Guillaume Tirard, and I'm the Inward Investment Manager at ADNormandie, the Economic Development Agency of Normandy Regional Council. So last week, Luca Di Meo, the CEO of Renault Group, wrote a post on LinkedIn about the cross-channel link between its 2 factories, one located at Dieppe in France, and the other one located at Enstone in the UK. And a fantastic Formula 1 car developed together there. So you may be not running a Formula 1, but you still have a business to run. And that's why we have decided to do this webinar. Why is Dieppe a symbol of cross-channel industrial excellence? Why is Dieppe important to consider when you want to export efficiently your product from UK to France? As Ms. Cordoba and Mélisande said, exporting is key. It's very important for your business and your operation in Europe. 1 in 5 Greater Manchester businesses export their products, and France is a key market. However, the supply chain from UK to France has been challenged by several factors these days. Post-Brexit regulation, post-COVID logistic congestion, Dover-Calais ferry route reliability. But Dieppe industrial ecosystem has three advantages I want to share, three advantages which can improve your supply chain and logistics to France. First, from a geographical point of view, if you draw a line from Manchester to Paris, the heart of French economy, Dieppe is in this line. It is the most direct cross-channel route to France. Second advantage, Dieppe is a great showcase of Normandy's industrial excellence and attractiveness. Dieppe economy is very diversified, with major international companies already located there, such as Dieppe In, Toshiba, Royal DSM, Nestlé, EDF, DFDS, and so on. And Dieppe has a strong advanced engineering network of companies like Manchester. Third advantages, thanks to Vialog Business Association, Dieppe industrial ecosystem is very well organized. It's very well organized and it's very important. It can offer, this organization, Vialog, can offer high quality supply chain solution to industrial which want to sell their products in Europe. Toshiba, represented by Alain Vernat, DFDS, represented by Stéphanie Saven, and Bruno Eurochannel Logistics, represented by Bruno Bellia, will give their testimonial about the services and how they can help you for your supply chain from UK to France. You must know that in Normandy, 163 UK companies are already located in Normandy, from small company to major one company, and we have a strong community of 7,300 British citizens, such as Graham Tracy, the general manager of the group of Normandy Development, who will give his testimonial about living and doing business there in Normandy. Yes. Thank you, Wilson. Next slide.
Thank you, Guillaume. And before that, if I can just, there we go. Before we hand it over to the panel, I'll just in echo of what was Guillaume saying, I will give you three reasons also to consider France as your logistic hub. The first one being the location. It's a critical one, as Guillaume explained for Normandy. You have through France an easy access to 500 million consumer market, which is the second largest market in the world, and also a bridge. France is a bridge to the Middle East and the African markets. And for that, you have key logistic players. Some of them are French. You may know them: Geodis, Bolloré Logistics, CMA, CGM, GFCO, just to name a few, and to let you know that all actors and players are really ready to help you move forward. And now let's zoom in into Normandy's economy and geography with Guillaume again.
So thank you, Melissa. By choosing Dieppe as a gateway, you will choose one of the shortest and the most efficient ways to access the Seine Valley. The Seine Valley, it's a critical zone in terms of industrial power. Seine Valley, it is the industrial heart of France, with 34% of the French GDP generated there. So when you choose Dieppe as a ferry route, you arrive directly at the heart of industrial market of France. This Seine Valley means for you, Manchester companies, both markets but suppliers in pretty every much industrial sectors, such as automotive, agro, digital, health, advanced engineering. Companies located in Normandy get an easy access to this market. Why? Because we have a strong logistic capacities, strong logistic offers, both national and international. You may, as you see on this map, Normandy has 5 ferry routes to UK and also Ireland, and has access to more than 750 ports, thanks to Le Havre Europa port, the first international French international port. Normandy, for you, Manchester company, is truly an import-export proxy to European markets. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you, Guillaume. And the second reason to consider France as your logistic hub is France's high-quality multimodal infrastructure. Across the country, you will find multiple and rapid connection solutions, whether it is by rail, by roads, waterways, or also by air. France is home, as you know, of the first European freight airport at Charles de Gaulle, and also has the densest European motorway network. France's major ports, as you may know, are Le Havre, in Normandy, Dunkirk in north of France, and Marseille in south of France. And for the last several months, they've seen an increasing volume of goods coming in. So some of them, most of them have heavily invested in extending and also developing their capacities. Just to give you an example, in Normandy specifically, Haropa, which is the organization that gathers 3 ports, Le Havre, just southeast of Dieppe, Rouen, and also Paris along the Seine River. They have invested 250 million euros just to extend their warehouse capacities. Land and warehouse availability is indeed important, and in France, it's in average less expensive than in the UK. Our speakers have prepared for you a booklet with site opportunities that we are going to share with you at the end of this webinar. Infrastructures is also about local business network, and I'll let Guillaume say more about that in Normandy specifically.
Thank you. So yes, when you choose the Dieppe, you choose a ferry link, you choose an ecosystem, but you enter, in fact, in a community of people who know each other and who know how to help you to develop your operation in France. So at ADNormandie, we have a dedicated team which provides a large panel of personalized services to assist growing companies in their setup, development projects, such as seat selection, visit, financial public support, recruitment services, and partnerships, and so on. But first, the roadmap we want to develop with you is first we will put you in touch with the Dieppe network, and especially with Vialog, the business association Vialog, to find supply chain solution and to assess them with a true industrialist, true logistic expert in supply chain, and you will assess your supply chain solution and to assess Dieppe as an opportunity for your supply chain operation to Europe. But on second, we can put you in contact with industrial network to create partnership, to find supplier, to find clients. In fact, Normandy is very well organized. We have a very diversified economy. We are pretty much in every industrial sector. And for each key sector, 12 in all, you will have easily contact with a key association, an association which represents these sectors. For example, in Normandy, we have the business association Next Move. It is a national automotive association. We have an association for the beauty product cosmetic valley. We've got an association for agro-food industry. We've got also an association for pharma and medical and health products and so on. So it's easy for us to put you with the right contact to enter the market, because it's very difficult to enter a market, but we know how to do that. And it's really, I think, it's an opportunity for you to grow your business. Secondly, for your operation in France, and if you want to expand and, for example, open a subsidiary, a sister company, a logistic warehouse, or open a representative office, we have the right contact for every step. We have set up a Normandy task force. This Normandy task force are composed of majority of British French nationals, so they understand clearly the UK culture, the UK industry. They know you quite well, and so you will have easily one contact for each step of your project from example, solution logistic with Mr. Belia, but also for accounting, for finance, for legal, and so on. So it's what we call the welcome package, and we welcome you in Normandy, Dieppe.
Thank you, Guillaume, and that's a specificity from Normandy, so I hope you will take advantage of that. As Guillaume was mentioning, a strong local business network is important. That's actually one of the major factors when a company is choosing to invest within a country. The other factors, as you may know, is the skills and availability of skills, the infrastructures, the local but also national support at different level, and also access to grants. At Business France and ADNormandie, we help everyday British companies to opt to choose the best solution to set up to find the right setup opportunity in France and Normandy. And our services are free of charge and confidential. Over the last years, France has put into place pro-business reforms to be more competitive, to be more innovative. I won't go over too much details, but just so you have in mind 4 major reforms. The first one is concerning regarding the reduction of corporate taxation, which is major for a business when you launch in a new country, allowing also greater flexibility in the labor laws, but also at the same time training new skills, because that's important as well. And in the supply chain, specifically in the supply chain industry, what we can observe in France is that over all the value chain of the supply chain, you'll find different qualified profiles. So you can find all the way along someone to help you in your business every day. The third reforms is the simplification of administrative processing in your day-to-day business activities. And last but not least, a national plan to promote carbon neutrality. And that's also a specific theme for ports, so it's important to mention it. And also the will to stimulate future and emerging technologies in key industries. And this national plan, it's a 100 billion plan, which is called France 2030. So you will find all the great ingredients to successfully do business in France. And before I hand it over to our moderator, Isabelle, and our panelists, I will say a conclusion that staying close to your customer and optimizing your freight transportation are more and more key nowadays. Having access to a large market and a dense, well-connected also transportation network, benefiting from excellent infrastructure and port facilities with multimodal connection, makes France, all of that make France a smart move for you, for your business. So hopefully you will consider it. And Dieppe Port is actually a great example of it. So I will let the panel share with you all these advantages. And before that, I will introduce you to our moderator, Isabelle Widmer. She's joining us today from Basel in Switzerland. Isabelle is an MD with a research, clinical and pharmaceutical industry background. Born in Switzerland, she had lived and worked in the USA, in the UK, in France, in Israel, and also obviously in Switzerland. She is bilingual in English and in German, but she also speaks French. In 2013, she founded a company, Alitra. She works with clients, including top 5 pharmaceutical companies, to implement sustainable transformation. She focuses specifically on improving processes and technology by engaging people and encouraging collaboration to improve business effectiveness. In her spare time, she can be found cycling. She just did in France lately, riding, and whenever possible, also driving a tractor. Isabelle, I hand it over to you.
Thank you very much, Melisande. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. And I think Guillaume and Melisande have outlined many aspects of the functioning ecosystem that's in place in Normandy to support businesses to enter the French market, and also shared a lot of examples of companies who've done that successfully. So I think that was a wonderful lead-in. Obviously, navigating a complex industry requires design, planning, and execution, as well as the right resources in the right location. And thanks to both Brexit and the pandemic, the industry's been faced with significant challenges in these areas, including the supply chain crisis, which has hit many of you, and which has led to supply chain pressure, bottlenecks, and shortages, as well as oversupply. And in addition, of course, congested ports, custom clearance delays, and issues with unloading and onward transportation of freight has burdened companies further. And I think that's why we're on this call today. So on average, a typical container now spends 20% longer in transit than before the pandemic. So even though we don't have a crystal ball, it's safe to say that for 2022 and the next couple of years, the above issues are likely to still pose a challenge to businesses. And in addition to overall rising costs, that will be a challenge for companies, and potentially that could cost businesses in Britain and beyond millions. So whatever the reality is, planning for various scenarios is critical to staying competitive. And there are many different options beyond planning on just-in-time delivery, sprinkling on-demand delivery, moving storage of products closer to home, developing out of country production facilities, and all those different options that we'll talk about later as well. So we don't want to talk about problems, we want to talk about solutions. And I am joined by an excellent challenge by an excellent panel today, who will be sharing some ideas for solutions for your businesses with you. And I am going to introduce my panel. So you have Stephanie on the left. I love the background there. That just, there's no other reason. You just want to go and visit her on that ferry with that background. Graham, Bruno, and Alain. And so to introduce Stephanie Savillon is a freight sales manager at DFDS. She's responsible for promoting the company's routes to the French market. Stephanie's expertise is vast, with over 25 years of experience in the industry. And she has been with DFDS since 2012, so significant experience. She grew up in Normandy and has never been too far from a ferry. Before DFDS, she was at P&O, and that was before DFDS arrived in Dieppe. Next in line, we have an Englishman. So it's nice, we've got French to English. So we have Graham from Living Newhaven. So Graham Prissy is the founder and CEO of Group Development Normandy, and he's based at the Normandy Ecospace Centre in Dieppe. He's a resident of Normandy, but he did used to reside in Sussex, and he has a granny that comes from Sheffield, so he has good ties to the north of England. Graham's focus is helping clients make sense of ESHG, so environmental, social health, and governance opportunities and responsibilities, and helping them take actions to get there. His previous roles include 10 years as Sustainability Director of Legal and General Group PLC in London, making major investments in UK cities, including Greater Manchester. And ongoing roles include Chair, Non-Executive Director, or Executive Director of the following companies: Virtual Doctors, TDS Ultra, Social Value Portal, Three Hands, and Goscombe Homes. Graham has a great track record in linking the UK to Normandy. He's the co-founder of Startup Cruise, brought Misty Clip to the UK market, delivered the first zero carbon cargo service between Dieppe and Newhaven for 150 years, brought the ever first Cornish gig to Normandy, and produced Seaside Town, a film bringing together Newhaven and Dieppe, which is on Amazon Prime. I wonder if Graham ever sleeps. Graham, do you ever sleep? No. So we're excited to hear from him why Normandy is a great place to work, rest and play for people and businesses of Greater Manchester. We have Bruno on screen too. I think you can't see Bruno at the moment. We do have a photograph of him, but he will be speaking later and you'll see him when he's speaking. So Bruno Belliard, there he is, thank you. Eurochannel Logistics, ECL. So Bruno Belliard is founded Eurochannel Logistics in 2001, a private company based in Dieppe and Newhaven, West Sussex. The company is specialized in road freight cargo between France and Great Britain. There are daily departures ranging from single pallet to a full trailer loads. With more than 16,000 square meters of warehouse in Dieppe, Eurochannel Logistics can also provide clean and secure storage of cargo. The company is AEO certified. By anticipation of the new Brexit conditions, Bruno has created a custom clearance service, both sides of the channel, to support its industrial clients, exporters or importers and haulers alike. Bruno is also president of the Club Logistique de Dieppe-Le Tréport. And last but absolutely not least, we have Alan Werner from Vialog. Alan Werner is also in the room there with Stephanie and Bruno. It's a shame we can't all be together, but Zoom is a solution to many problems, despite the fact that we're not in the same room. So Alan is CEO of Toshiba, TEC Europe Imaging Systems SA, the industrial division of the Japanese group based in Normandy, which produces toner links for the European market, but also exports to China. Bruno transformed the historical activity assembling photocopies in Dieppe into a system of high value added logistics services. Alan Werner was president of the Logistics Normandy sector from 2013 to 2020 and currently chairs the UIMM in Rouen, Dieppe and Normandy region. He is also co-founder of the Vialog competitiveness cluster, bringing together the know-how of some 15 local companies in terms of its industrialization, subcontracting, assembly and logistics distribution. And I think we have a wonderful panel that will cover so many different topics today. And one of the key, I think, burning issues for many companies is logistics. So we're going to have question one, which will go to Stephanie. So Stephanie, what logistics solutions does Dieppe offer for British companies?
Good morning, all. First, so my name is Stephanie Savéan, and I'm a freight sales manager at Dieppe. The question today is why choosing Dieppe and Normandy for your business. So the city and the region of Dieppe have a strategic place in France. When you're in Dieppe, you're nearby the Seine Valley and the main consumer basins, Le Havre, Rouen and Paris. And you're only 200 kilometers from Paris, which is the first European consumer basin. The Newhaven Dieppe route links the United Kingdom to the Normandy, the west and the center of France in a pleasant and comfortable 4-hour crossing. And about the story, this is the first cross-channel route. The arrival of car ferries in 1964 brought the line into the modern era, allowing to transport on the same ship passengers, cars and trucks. The FDS is being operating the Newhaven Dieppe route in partnership with Transmanche Ferries since 2013. So now a few words about the FDS. So the FDS is a Danish company and provides ferry and logistic services in Europe and Turkey. So we move freight and passengers on 34 ferry routes, and our 10,000 employees are located in our 71 ferries and in our offices across 20 countries. Our extended network is present in North Seas, Baltic Sea, Mediterranean and cross-channel, where we also operate the Calais-Dover and the Dunkirk-Dover routes. Dieppe is the French head office of the FDS. So now back to Newhaven Dieppe, which is the route we are putting forward today. So Newhaven Dieppe, this is 2 departures a day from each port in low season and 3 in high season. The sailing time is 4 hours, and we provide each driver with a bed in a shared cabin equipped with shower and toilets. Our 2 sister ships, the Côte d'Albâtre and the Seven Sisters, sail all the year round between Newhaven and Dieppe and carry on each departure freight and passengers with a maximum capacity of 600 passengers per vessel. So we can ship your accompanied and unaccompanied traffic, your referred trucks and trailer, your industrial and hazardous cargo. So to summarize, we are working with diversified businesses and can carry any type of cargo. So I would say that compared to the Eastern Channel routes, choosing Newhaven Dieppe is avoiding your driver's congestions at port and waiting times. And one of our big assets here in Dieppe is that we are the only operator and we provide our clients tailor-made service, which is much appreciated, especially since Brexit. So be sure that you and your drivers will be in good hands with us and DFDS.
Stephanie, so how many freight pieces are you carrying on average?
I would say that we carry on average 40,000 freight units per year. For instance, in 2019, we carried 376,000 passengers, 126,000 tourist vehicles, and 38,000 freight units. And some figures at the end of the April this month, we were 18% up compared to the previous year, especially for the whole freight traffic. So DFDS can bring some solutions to your business by offering an attractive rate in exchange of a potential volume, so to be discussed individually with you. By carrying your accompanied and unaccompanied traffic, we are also much experienced in the carriage of reefer trucks and trailers. So we have a Dieppe in Dieppe, which is temporarily closed, but the Dieppe is due to reopen soon. And since Brexit, we also have a customs broker department and can manage a customs clearance for you. So that's it for me for the presentation of DFDS and the Newhaven Dieppe route. Unless you have any question, I'm handing over to Graham Tracy, who will share his experience and his knowledge with you. Thank you.
Hi, thank you very much. Hi, good morning, everybody in Greater Manchester. As Isabel said, my gran was from Sheffield, but clearly I lost the accent, so apologies for that. I know Greater Manchester quite well, having spent time at Legal & General Group, who was a major investor behind Salford Quays, Media City, and L&G Modular Homes in Sherborne. So I know Manchester quite well. I now spend my time and life living, working, and playing in Normandy in France. It's a great environment. What I wanted to do was explain a little bit about that. On the right-hand side of this slide, I oversee many companies from France that are based in the UK. And I do that because I do that as a non-exec or an exec director of companies. The reason why that's important to you is that should you choose to invest in Normandy or do business with Normandy, we're only 100 kilometers from the coastline of the UK. We are very, very close. You can govern companies and interests from where you are to here in France very easily. Some of those are telematics companies, some of those are telemedicine organizations, but the point is, it's very easy. We are very close. The other thing I wanted to just highlight to you, I wrote down a list on this piece of paper here of the number of collaborative discussions that have happened just in the past 6 weeks between Normandy-based businesses and businesses in the UK. In fact, yesterday I had a Zoom call, very easy these days, between ProCare in Wigan and a 3D printing factory here in Normandy that wanted to talk about speeding up prototyping of new products. It's very easy to do that on Zoom. But over the past month, the number of conversations between UK and French Normandy businesses has increased. And there's lots of how can conversations that go on. So, for example, how could we make 20% of our UK electric car and 3D print it and ship it across the channel to the UK? How could we run an electric car rally between Paris and London next year in 2023? How can we put a new type of heart monitor, as you'll see from the screen here, onto the hearts of 7 billion people to stop heart attacks happening between a UK and French company that happened last week? How can we move pallets across the channel using zero carbon and generate hydrogen at the same time? Normandy is a specialist region for hydrogen production here in France. And finally, how can we connect female founders in Sussex with female founders in Normandy for the first time on Zoom, for the second time face-to-face? So my experience of doing business between Normandy and the UK is a very positive one. Normandy is full of people that say, what can we, how can we make this happen? And that's because we have space to innovate. People respect the past and culture as they do there in Greater Manchester. And we're close enough for you to keep an eye on what we're up to and for us to be collaborative.
Thank you very much, Graham. So that brings us to our next question, which will be for Bruno. So Bruno, can you tell us how Dieppe has developed an accessible and open environment using post-Brexit new rules? I anticipate this will be very eagerly anticipated, your answer to this question.
Okay, thank you, Isabelle. I will try. Good morning to everybody. My name is Bruno Belliard, and I manage a road transport company based both in Dieppe and in Newhaven near Brighton. We have three main activities: road transport between the UK and France, logistics, storage, and stock control for cargo, and the third one, custom clearance declaration and custom advices. In fact, very early after the referendum of the Brexit, with the support of the Club Logistics, the Dieppe, and the Normandy Logistics Association, we have organized several meetings and invited the Dieppe economic actors in order to prepare them on the necessity to anticipate the new post-Brexit rules of trade. This means to change the format of their custom invoices and agree the best Incoterms with their client, to get an ERE number on the HMRC website, to prepare the best documentation supply chain of their export or import of goods to the continent, then choose a transport operator, choose a UK broker, choose a French broker according to the chosen Incoterms, and to organize and book the ferry shipment with their transport operator. Eurochannel Logistics, we are working with two British networks, distribution networks. One is Pallet Track based in Wolverhampton, and the second one, United Pallet Network based in Lichfield, and a French one whose name is Paul. And every day, 5 times a week, with our truck and trailers, we are connecting the UK, the United Kingdom, to France through the Newhaven Dieppe ferry service. Palletized cargo are mutualized with all the freight coming from the UK postcode, all the UK postcode areas. The freight are custom cleared, shipped, and cross-docked to the Orléans hub before to be delivered to the final French consignees. And the mutualization of all this freight through the networks enable us to propose very competitive rates. A few words about our company. Created in 2001 in Dieppe, we have opened a UK office in 2005. The UK office is established on the port of Newhaven, and we are able to carry from one single pallet to a full load trailers. Our fleet is composed of 35 trailers, and we have French drivers and British drivers. And we have chosen the unaccompanied service through the Newhaven Dieppe line in order to avoid waiting times at the borders. a map to show you our two locations of the situation of our two clearance offices. So we have created CFA for Cargo Flow Agency, which is a UK broker, and ECL France, Eurochannel Logistics France, is preparing the continental entries for the custom clearance. And we can also clear cargo for which the clients do not choose us for the transport. Few words regarding our logistics services. We can offer you pure storage and stock control with our WMS, warehousing managing system. We can also propose you underbound storage area to allow you to store in suspension of VAT, tax and duties for a maximum of 90 days. All our warehouses are built in concrete, video equipped, and safe and secured. Eurochannel Logistics has been EAO, Agreed Economic Operator certified in 2011 for safety and security by the French custom authorities. So as a conclusion, if you are successful in exporting to France, or if you decide to settle a business in Dieppe, we can offer you all assistance regarding transport and custom clearance. Our UK and French teams stay at your entire disposal if you have any question or investigation in these fields.
Thank you very much. Alain, would you like to add a little bit on the question of how Dieppe has developed an accessible and open environment using post-Brexit new rules?
Yes, hello everyone. So nice to be with you this morning in order to speak about Dieppe territory and our activities here. So maybe first of all, let me tell you a few words about the reasons why such worldwide Japanese group like Toshiba came to France, and more especially in Dieppe in Normandy. So this was in the year 80s when European community was applying anti-dumping duties on the products imported from Asia and more especially from Japan also. And at this time, one way to escape to the anti-dumping duties used to be able to develop more than 40% value-added activities here in France or Europe. And this is basically the major reason why many Japanese companies came to Europe, including also, of course, England, but also France, and more especially here in Normandy, in order to escape to such anti-dumping duties policy. So Toshiba was highly considering Normandy because it is one of the major in-trans ports with Le Havre to French market. We are very close from Le Havre here in Dieppe. It's about 60 miles. And it was, of course, very convenient to be able to import the products and later on the kits of parts which were necessary to assemble our copia machine, so which was our historical activity when we started here in Dieppe. So after this decision was made to invest more and more here on our site with not only copier assembly, but also toner production. We are now producing toner for the whole European market here from Dieppe. It's about 900 tons a year, which are delivered to all Europe in toner cartridges, but also we are exporting toner bulk powder to our Chinese factory for Asian markets. So it is also interesting to notice that we can export to China from Dieppe here. And during the years 90s to the year 2008, we used to continue with copier assembly, toner production, but also logistics distribution of all of our products, multifunctional product for office printing, but also toner cartridges in France from our logistics center on the same site. And then we have diversified our activities with several products of Toshiba Group, mainly retail solutions, so point of sale solutions for retails, but also barcode printers and auto ID printers. So finally, we transform our original assembly activity to services. So, and we have diversified our activity with different kinds of services, including configuration to order of copier units with the body of the copier machine, but also additional cassettes in different formats, automatic document feeder, sorters, staplers, and so on, and more also, including some individual configuration with individual parameters such as the IP address of our final customers or even mail address of customers. So it means we are able here to have a very high flexibility with a capability to finalize the product as the final customer is wishing to receive his goods from our site directly. We have developed a repair center, call center also, technical call center, and now we are also more and more considering refurbishing activities for complete products, complete MFP, but also refurbishing and refilling of toner cartridge as well. So it means we have a very high flexibility here, and thanks to the skills we can recruit on the territory, of the Dieppe territory, either for operators in different skills, but also for engineers. We are very close to Rouen Métropole, which is no more than 40 miles from Dieppe, and with several high schools in engineering, in marketing, in electronics, and all the skills and capabilities are available here in order to diversify and to develop our activities. So maybe let me speak a little bit then about Vialog, so which Guillaume mentioned before. So Vialog, we have founded together with Bruno, in fact, who spoke just before me, in 2009. And the idea was, in fact, to combine industrial capabilities or skills of Toshiba with logistics capabilities of Eurochannel Logistics. And we had the ambition to gather more skills than our both companies by gathering several entities here in the Dieppe territory. So as of today, Vialog is gathering 15 companies in different activities, starting from the design office, engineering, industrialization, manufacturing in different kind of features such as stamping, machining, plastic molding, wiring, wire harnesses, or electronics, and also, of course, logisticians, as we mentioned before, including Eurochannel Logistics, which is specified in cross-channel traffic, but also some logistic group such as Geodis, who also joined the Vialog organization, and Geodis is able to deliver your product or your goods all over Europe or major countries in Europe. So the specificity of Vialog is to gather these different skills or capabilities of different companies, and we can, in fact, help you for industrialization, for subcontracting, for logistics and supply chain solutions, industrialization of your product, and also customization of products or services. Just let me mention you one example you have on the right side of the picture here, which is the Bibot terminal. So this Bibot terminal is in fact collecting empty plastic bottles. As you know, this is now high need to collect the plastic bottles in order to recycle the plastic. And this terminal is in fact dedicated to be implemented in a major retailers' galleries, so that the customers can bring back their empty bottles, and it is crushed on site by this terminal. And this machine was designed by a startup, in fact, a company. And this startup came to Vialog 5-6 years ago in order to find a partner in order to manufacture his product. We started cooperation more than 5 years ago, helping for the industrialization of the product from trial run. And now we have assembly several hundreds of machines which have been deployed all over the French market as of today. And now Greenbig, the startup, is considering internationalization of his market. So this is one very single example how Vialog has a capacity in order to help you to industrialize the product, to manufacture it, and to distribute it all over your market. So don't hesitate to contact us. We can help you for sure. And last but not least, Vialog is not acting alone in the Dieppe territory, but we have very close relationship with several clusters which have been mentioned before. So the Club Logistique de Dieppe, which is actually headed by Bruno Belliard. So you can see that we have a very, very close connections. But we are also in touch with several clusters in Normandy, including the logistic cluster, so Logistics and Normandy, but also the car industries cluster, the space industries cluster, and the energy cluster of the agro one. So any connection can be possible in order to help you.
Thank you very much, Alain. So Alain's just expand a little bit on how you can set up your business successfully and how he can help and how the others can help too. And I'd like to bring it to a close now with Graham. So Graham, can you share with us what the synergies or what are the similarities between Greater Manchester and Normandy and how that impacts business?
Thanks, Isabel. Yeah, of course. We've got a lot in common between Normandy and Greater Manchester. There's no coincidence that the first 6 letters of Manchester are La Manche, which is French for the English Channel. So we have a lot in common. The sun is shining today in Normandy, and the sun is shining, from what I understand, there in Greater Manchester. But when it isn't, you have a lot of solar power in the UK. But when it isn't, there are 2 nuclear power stations here in Normandy that provide energy to the grid, around 4% every day from Normandy into the UK grid. So your businesses are already powered by Normandy energy. We also have many fibre optic cables from Europe to the UK that run through Normandy. So we're already connected and have been, irrespective of Brexit, irrespective of COVID, we're powering your businesses every single day. We are the closest piece of mainland Europe to Manchester, as the crow flies. And we understand here what it's like to be strong northern cities. We are in northern France. You're in the north of the UK. We know how resourceful and independent we have to be as places to connect with other parts of the world. Here in Normandy, we have lots of space, time, and good people to innovate and collaborate. And as the ADNormandie team mentioned, we have financial support to help you to pilot and scale things here. So whether you are a small entrepreneurial organization like those in Normandy EcoSpace, in our 3D printing factory, or whether you are a Nestle and anything in between, let's work, rest and play together and do business.
Thank you very much, Graham. So when I introduced our panel, I said we highlighted some company challenges that are faced: logistics, transport, slow custom processing, product storage and dissemination, just to mention just a few. And all those challenges impact business efficiency and they increase operating costs tremendously. And I promised you that we would provide some concrete solutions to some of your challenges. And what you'd need to be able to solve those challenges is the access to expert knowledge and resources. And I think our panelists have addressed every one of those challenges and provided potential solutions on all fronts. And they've shown you how they can assist you to address those challenges in concrete areas, but also beyond. I mean, there's an amazing amount of knowledge in this panel and a lot of connections across the environment. So please reach out to any of the panelists directly if you have a concrete question where they can assist you or to discuss a business proposition. And I will now hand back to Mélisande and Guillaume, who will close our session. It's been a pleasure being here with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Isabel. It's actually time for Q&A. So Susanna, if you want to open the discussion, if there are any questions from the audience.
Thank you very much. And thank you to all the expert panelists for their insights into what Normandy has to offer and the great connections between our two regions. I think it kind of showcased very well how we could promote more trade between Greater Manchester and Normandy. So now I would like to welcome the audience. If you have any specific questions, I know there was one on the chat box, but I think Catherine is going to take that separately on waste, something about waste. So if there is anybody else that has any questions about what it means to operate in Normandy, or how to connect with the different support available, the funding, yes, you're welcome to raise your hands or put the question on the Q&A box and we'll pick it up. I don't think we have any, but I'm gonna give people a moment. And in the meantime, I just wanted to ask a few questions to basically to Business France as well. So this is our very first time that we are collaborating on an event, which I think is great. And my question will be, what other activities are you planning to do in terms of between the UK and the north of England, especially in Greater Manchester, to continue, you know, this first step into bringing awareness about the opportunities that France and other regions in France have to offer?
Thank you, Susanna. I think that's a great opportunity for maybe Guillaume to officially announce an event in September, for which Greater Manchester companies are very welcome to come. Guillaume, you want to say a few words?
Yes, yes, thank you, Melissa. So yes, in September we have in Dieppe a major event, the International Cerf-Volant Kite, the International Kite meeting. It's an international event which attracts a lot of international people from all over the world, from Asia, from USA, from Canada, from all over Europe. And I think it's a great opportunity for Manchester company, also for the Manchester, as a Greater Manchester Chamber of Commerce, to come and to visit Dieppe. It's always better to see by your own eyes the potential of what we are proposed. And we are really invite you at this event in September, and with Dieppe community, with Dieppe territory, not only Dieppe, but the hinterland of Dieppe, such as Falaise du Talou, all the business community, and with Vialog, we will maybe share and discuss and organize a visit for your company. You will help to come here in France using ferry links, using the FDS solution.
And then on this occasion, maybe we can also organize a visit of the ship during the crossing, one of those crossing.
So a great opportunity, and the weather will be nice.
Sure.
That sounds very good. I don't think I see anything in the chat box, guys. Just to finalize, I guess for me is to ask the last question is, how do, obviously, we have to contend with the fact that things have changed in terms of the way we trade with the EU, and France continues to be a top market for the Northwest region, for the whole UK, really. But the Northwest region and Greater Manchester is a vital partner for us. How can we, this was a first step into bringing, you know, our businesses together, just learning more about the France and Normandy. What else can we do together in terms of in partnerships to help those businesses to understand more about more of the specific opportunities? Because this was great, but obviously there are this is an ever evolving, you know, sectors, innovations that are happening in both regions. What else can we do together that will bring more opportunities and more businesses together to do more trade and investment.
And we would love to continue the discussion. Maybe something we can organize and plan for the next coming months is some workshop on specific themes, on specific challenges that companies meet when they export and they set up in France and Normandy. So we have the usual suspects discussions that we can consider, such as labor laws and taxation. That's something that also is important to consider when you set up in a new country, but also it could be specific to an industry. So today was supply chain. We can go a little bit further. We could focus on pharmaceutical, we could focus on agro, cultural industry, and so on and so forth. So very flexible on that. It really depends on the needs, on the demand of companies. And my team is also able to come in person in Manchester. We used to come twice a year, but now after COVID, everyone gets used to the Zoom format. So it's more a first meeting online, and then if the opportunity is happening, we can meet in person. But we are very happy to come. We're very close, so that's a great opportunity to size.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, just a comment on that. What I've really found about Normandy is it's up for being challenged and what's possible. And we are the closest piece to mainland Europe. So we're the closest piece to businesses in Greater Manchester for 500 million consumers. So what we like, the trick of getting started is to get going and to get something to discuss and to solve a problem. So we're up for being challenged. So please, give us some what ifs here in Normandy. What if we could do this? How can we? And we will respond.
My next question is, Greater Manchester has, most of our exports are actually in the service sector, and there is a lot of legacy within manufacturing and engineering. Most of what we heard today is mostly focused on the movement of goods back and forth, but what are the incentives as well for those that are, looking? We have a lot of companies that continue to serve some of those companies in the EU, in France and Germany. But obviously they're trying to get used to the new business processes, because even taking equipment to deliver a service and the other side is just become more expensive for them. So in terms of the services side, what kind of things you think you can help people with? I mean, I know there is the standard about helping them just to kind of, if they want to open a presence in an office down over there, but what else in terms of, is the funding that you, the incentives that you mentioned will apply to also to service companies as well as the ones that are importing or exporting goods?
I see 3 questions, so I'll try to sum up, but Guillaume, feel free to jump in also for the Normandy side view of things. So our services are really to help you find where in France it would make sense. But before that, obviously you need to make business, you need to be introduced, you need to meet people. So we'll make sure that you get to know the right players in your field, and whether it's regional or national, whether it's also the authorities, but also private companies, big and smaller players. So you get to know and get a sense of how the ecosystem is. Once you're ready, once you are generating, once you have a traction, you may consider to set up, and that's where also we can help in finding which is the best options in terms of real estate, localization, talents. We are able to help you find the right people for you to hire, so you start smoothly but surely and successfully. And when it comes to incentives, France is really big on supporting innovation and also eco-friendly solution development. So you will have a lot of incentives in innovation, in research tax credit as well. France covers 30% of your overall expenses when you have a R&D facility in France. So very attractive. And again, the talents services are also a key when you consider making innovation in France, and that's when you will get the most incentive actually. And that's on a national scale. There is also a declination for the regional level, which Guillaume can give you an insight of.
Yeah, thank you, Melissa. Regarding services, we don't have so much incentive. In fact, the most important incentive is the indirect one, the ADNormandie one-stop shop organization. This one-stop shop organization will save a lot of money and time for companies which want to develop in France. Because we are a one-stop shop organization, we can propose to companies, especially in services, which want to expand in French market, very practical solutions such as co-working space, such as offices, but also we can put them directly in contact with potential partners or customers. And I think this is really important. It saves a lot of time and money. You know, Normandy is like Manchester, Greater Manchester is the same amount of people. It's around 3 million of people. It's a small, in fact, a small community where everyone knows everyone, and it's very easy to get in touch with the right people when you are introduced by, for example, organizations such as Vialog or ADNormandie. And for these services, which services company and services, it's a very important in France. It's a key market. I think Normandy is key because it's at the door of Paris market, at the door, but without the cost. The cost, we can propose very competitive cost. But if you set up in Dieppe or Rouen, it's very easy to get in touch with clients in Paris area, in Seine Valley area. I remember, it says the number, Seine Valley area is 34% of French GDP, which means there's a lot of clients there for British companies. And we can organize visit meetings and with you, Greater Manchester Chamber of Commerce, in order to trade, because Normandy is all about trade. We are proxy, so it's a win-win partnership, and I really want to do that with the team.
Thank you so much. That's music to my ears when you say that. I have a question from Karine. I'm not sure, Karine, if you might be able to expand a bit further on your question. She's asking, I would love to hear a startup or a small businesses company selling services about the first impression exporting to France. I'm not sure if maybe you can provide a bit more. What is it that you want to know? It's about how to sell your services in France for a small company, a startup, how to start your international journey in that sense. I don't know if she's still there.
Is it possible to speak?
Yeah.
Yes, my name is Corinne Zhang. Yes, my question was about having a startup or a small businesses experiences regarding their first services export in France. So I know that the panel are well, I would say, established, and they have been trading for quite decades, if I can say that like that. But for small businesses, I presume all the panel, not the panel, but I believe so, most of the Zoom attendees are probably small businesses as well. So we would like to know, not we, me especially, I would like to know, I would like to have an experience or experience from small businesses the first time they went to France and tried to trade. What was the challenge, where was the challenge they encountered, or if they encountered challenges or not. One of the person, on the panel talked about organizing a workshop. So maybe during that workshop, it would be great to bring some of those startup or small businesses.
I can maybe help with that. So hi, Kerry. one of the things we did here in Normandy, and yet before Brexit, we with our friends at DFDS, is we got 200 individual SME entrepreneurs onto a ferry. And we got them talking to each other and connecting to each other. And actually on that ferry too were SME investors too. So actually people buy people. And next week we have entrepreneurs, auto entrepreneurs as they're called here in France, self-employed business people in the UK, connected via Zoom next week between Sussex and Dieppe. And they all happen to be female founders. And so we connect those people first. And then when they realize there's a connection to their individual product or service, they get together very easily on the ferry link or on technology. And they basically team up together to grow. And that's how, in our experience, it happens. And we've got some great experts here to do all the financial stuff and to do all the accounting stuff. But actually what we can do is help you find someone who's like-minded, who wants to help take what you do and expand it into Europe.
Thank you, Graham. That answers your question, Karim? I will also add that in terms of starting your journey, international journey exporting services, the Chamber is also a place to help you with the beginning of that, just helping you to understand what, the service that you've got, what requirements you might have to meet when selling services overseas. We know that the rules of trading kind of change between the UK and the EU, and in terms of the TCA, there has been, even though services are part of the trade agreement, there are some areas that remain, vague in some instances, or there are new criteria that businesses in the UK have to meet when selling services overseas. And that might include having the right qualification to deliver a service over there, just to mention but a few, or just even the ability to be able to provide that service in that market. I believe some markets might be more flexible than others within the EU, but I think it's important for you to understand first what are your USP in terms of the services here in the UK, what can be sold overseas, and we can help you to also understand which markets offer the best, export potential for your service. So is there anyone else that want to add in terms of the panel, or that's okay? That's okay. Right. Let me see. I don't think we have more questions, or am I missing something? Yeah, I don't think we have more questions on the chat box. So I just wanted to say thank you to all our panelists again, to Business France, ADNormandie for trusting us with your event. And I will welcome all the delegates to make sure if you have any questions, even if you think about those questions after the event, make sure to email us to us and we'll make the connections with Business France. We will send you the slides and you'll have the contact details anyways. So you'll have direct contact with the people that you heard from today. So thank you very much. And I also would like to, we know that a few of the delegates have booked one-to-one meetings with Business France. So for those who booked meetings, please do stay behind. And for those who did not book, but maybe now have a pressing question that you would like to do on one-to-one basis, and stay on. I think there might be a chance that we can squeeze one more company for the one-to-ones. So thank you so much, and it's been great having you all today. And I hope the event proved to be useful, provide you with the insights, and it's the first step on your international journey. So thank you again.